attention. There has been a new law issued by King George III, which forbids colonists to settle west of the Appalachians. It will protect you from Native American attacks and reduce the need for troops to protect you, which will save Britain money. And you are Britain, so money of yours is saved. Thank you. The Stamp Act has now been put into place. Colonists will now start help paying for the French and Indian War debts.
What?
You must now pay a tax for all paper documents to be stamped.
You gotta be kidding me. Are you kidding me?
This is barking out, screw him! I don't like you!
Oftentimes in the fight for independence, protests, boycotts, and petitions occurred. Protest. Many colonists felt that they should not pay Stamp Act taxes. They protested, saying that these taxes violated their rights as British citizens. Boycotts. The colonists started to resist by boycotting or not buying British goods. Petitions. The Olive Branch Petition by John Dickinson was the last attempt of colonists to reconcile with King George and Parliament.
Everybody sign this petition. We will finally get the justice we've been waiting for.
Massacre, known as the Incident on King Street by the British, happened on March 5, 1770. The taxation without representation caused many fights between the British soldiers and the colonists. British troops fired on unarmed colonists, killing 5, including Crispus Attucks, who was the first to die. He was used as propaganda, but the British fought back, saying that they were threatened and they acted in self-defense. The British officers pled self-defense and the jury agreed.
I was only protecting myself.
The Sons of Liberty were a secret society of patriots formed to oppose, boycott, and protest British atrocities. The secret society were formed of people who were fed up with being treated unfairly by the British government. They were so angry that they broke the law by criticizing the government. The Boston Tea Party was the result of the Tea Act and a political protest by the Sons of Liberty in Boston, Massachusetts on December 16, 1773. It was a protest that the Sons of Liberty and other patriots did by dressing up as Mohawk Indians. Going as the Mohawk Indians, they dumped 342 chests of tea into the water. Colonial leaders offered to pay if Parliament would repeal the Tea Act, but Parliament declined and made a harsh set of laws that punished the Massachusetts colony.
Stop the tea! Stop the tea! Why is our tea in the harbor?
Why is it floating?
Where's our tea? Our tea! Where's our tea? It's been dumped! Oh my
Why is it floating like there?
Between 9 and 10 p.m. on the night of April 18, 1775, Paul Revere started his midnight ride. He rode through present-day Somerville, Medford, and Arlington. He warned patriots along his route, many of whom set out on horseback to deliver warnings of their own. By the end of the night, there were probably as many as 40 riders throughout the county carrying the news of the Army's advance. The battles of Lexington and Concord were the first military engagements of the American Revolutionary War. In Lexington, several hundred British soldiers were met by a militia of about 70 colonial men. 8 colonial men were dead within minutes. A random shot went off, and no one knew who shot it. It was then known as the shot heard round the world.
Lucy, did you hear that?
Oh yeah, don't eso?
So excited,
Hast du das gehört?
The British troops moved on to Concord. The British had to cross the North Bridge. There were 200 Minutemen guarding it, and they shot as soon as they saw the British. They decided to go back with the other British soldiers and head back to Lexington, but the Minutemen lined the road. As the British retreated, the colonists shot at the British. The British were saved when more soldiers arrived at the scene. The colonists were still able to kill 200 British. men. The Battle of Bunker Hill was fought on June 17, 1775. British were about to send troops to occupy the hills surrounding Boston. 1,000 men were sent to fortify the hill before the British arrived. The men decided to fortify Breed's Hill, which was in the lower range of Boston. The British woke up. They found Breed's Hill swarmed with Minutemen. The British ended up winning due to the Minutemen's low ammo. The British lost 200 men and over 800 were injured. The colonists did lose some, but much less.
Proceed!
The Declaration of Independence was approved on July 4, 1776. It is an official document which declared independence and separation from England. There are 4 main points of the Declaration of Independence. 1. All men are created equal with certain God-given rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. 2. Governments are formed to protect and secure those rights. 3. When the government fails to do so, the people have the right to change it. 4. A government's power only comes from the consent of the governed.
The Declaration of Independence is officially done. And I, John Hancock, should sign it first. And now we shall fight for our independence.
Hello, Sir Washington. Thank you for returning my dog to me.
Oh, the Britain village is being destroyed. Oh, because the colonists are dying. Oh, my God.
Hear ye, hear ye. We now have a new thing called...
Sorry. I'm sorry, that one wasn't necessary. I won't.